Good morning, ATD family. Baseball has officially begun. We are back. We are excited. Games are live. Standings are real. We have a home run and stolen base count we get to talk about again. It's exciting. We're pumped. We're up there. It is ATD every Saturday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to kick this off as we always do. Baseball Bill, how are you doing on this beautiful Saturday?
I'm doing awesome, my friend. I'm wearing my corny hat today, only because it's baseball season. I got excited when we did our pregame chat, and you showed me the slides, and I saw the home run count and the stolen base count. I got excited. It's back. It's back.
It's real.
Yes.
I decided if you're listening to this on Bleachers Brothers Radio to go with the jersey today. Got my Giants jersey on, got my Giants hat on, keeping it classy. We're 1-0. I'm taking it as a win. We'll see what happens for the rest of the season, but for right now, we've still got 1,000 record. So,
There you go.
I'm going to start this off a little different. I'm going to throw you a piece of trivia,
Trivia.
and we're going to get to the answer halfway through the show.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
All
Trivia.
right. So,
Giddy up.
trivia today, and we're going to do this every week now.
Okay. Let's
What
hear
is
it.
what are the only two teams in baseball that don't end with the letter S? Think about it, mull it over. We'll get to the answer halfway through the show. I saw a video of this on YouTube and no one could answer it because no one could think about it. Don't
Okay.
ask me why, but that's the trivia question for right now. So, we're going to always want to thank our amazing sponsors that support us here at Top Fan Rivalry and ATD to allow us to do what we do so we can give you some great sports knowledge. First and foremost, the Inland Empire running on Dunkin' Donuts with a number of locations. I can't keep track of them all in my own head, so I have to refer to Baseball Bill for this. Bill, what are all of these locations that the Inland
So
Empire
you've
runs on?
got one in Colton, another one opening up in Colton. You've got Upland, Fontana, Rancho Cucamonga, and the Ontario Airport.
How often do you have to like practice saying all of these locations to have them embedded in your head?
You know what, Sam? You'd be amazed at what I could get accomplished when I put my mind to it. It's kind of
Oh,
like that line from Back to the Future. When you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything, right?
that's it. That is it. That is it. We thank the Inland Empire running on Duncan. Also got to throw out that big old shout out to the amazing Ruby's Diner, specifically the one on the PCH Pacific Coast Highway. Bill, what are our friends over at Ruby's Diner able to give us? Give you?
You know what? They are on PCH and they have the absolute breathtakingest view. I can't wait to get you out here. I cannot wait to get you out here. And you can see it. There's a rooftop out there. So, get yourself the rooftop access. Get yourself some good food out there, man. They got some shakes that just do not stop. They're amazing.
And what about this Drunken Gentleman's t-shirt company?
Oh my gosh, Josh over there, Drunken Gentleman, this dude is amazing. I talked to him 2 days ago. We've got an event with him we got an event with him next weekend, and we got an event with him in May. I got to tell you, it's going to be absolutely epic. Epic. This guy does such a great job with his clothing apparel. You got to check him out online. I mean, these guys are so cool, man. Lots of introductions coming your way when you get out to SoCal, my friend.
Oh man, I can't wait. Well, as always, we gotta thank our sponsors for allowing us to do what we do so we can give you the thing, give you, our fans, some great sports knowledge, some great sports stats, and some great sports baseball enthusiasm. This is where I'm gonna put it.
Nice.
Well, we're gonna get into the standings. We've got standings again. It's amazing. It's finally here. The fact that we can actually talk about it is like mind blowing. I'm sitting back in my chair just because I can't believe we waited all this time and now it's here. Bill, why don't you take me through the AL East?
AL East, Yankees obviously won their home opener. Rays looked good. Orioles have split so far. The Red Sox have split so far. Although I was watching the Red Sox, I was watching the Red Sox Rangers game yesterday, and them Red Sox are going to be very, very, very competitive. They got this fight in them that I wasn't expecting. I think the Blue Jays are going to underperform. So
Yeah, I can see that. You're talking about one of the top three divisions in baseball with the AL East, probably one of if not the toughest division in the league right now. A lot of competition. Um, it's going to be exciting to see how this division plays out throughout the season. Again, we're only 2 games in, but it's going to be fun. Taking us to the AL Central. Let me have it.
White Sox are in first place, everybody. Mic drop, end of the show. White Sox are in first place. No, White Sox.
Congratulations!
White Sox, and I'm going to talk about this when we talk about some surprises. But White Sox win game one. Guardians win. Uh, the Twins are going to be the Twins. The Tigers, don't be fooled with that 0-2 record. The Dodgers are a very good team, and the Dodgers had a walk off last night. They are very resilient. The American League West, the Athletics are in first place with the Astros. Um, I'm concerned that the Angels are going to underperform this year.
Yeah, I mean that AL West is basically is going to basically be a toss up.
Yeah,
Um, you
yeah.
know, you got now. Granted, the Athletics, the Astros, the Mariners, and the Rangers all are 1-1 right now, so it's pretty even. Angels have only played 1 game, so they're 0-1. I agree with you. I do think they're going to underperform. They've been underperforming for the last couple of seasons. Um, they're it, and I look at that as being the biggest crime for Mike Trout.
Yeah, true,
Like, I feel bad that the Angels are 0-1. I
true,
feel bad for their
true.
fans. I think the person who I feel the worst for is Mike Trout. He, you know, he's a stud player playing. Now granted, he's been injured the last couple of seasons and really just doesn't has a hard time bouncing back. But for being such a top tier caliber player, just kind of being stuck in this, you know, unfortunate situation. I hope he kind of takes a look at what they're doing and makes the either the tough decision to waive his no trade clause and decide to be traded to a team that can compete,
Mhm.
um, than stick it out just to, say like I'm that guy.
Right. Yeah. No, I like what you're saying. The Angels have a lot of work to do. I thought they did really well in the offseason with who they picked up. Although I watched them, I now granted I could eat my words today. We've got a watch party this afternoon. I could eat my words later on, but I watched them play the Dodgers on Tuesday night at Anaheim Stadium. They got one hit in a preseason game. Now, mind you, Dustin May pitched for 4 innings, but um, after that, most of the guys that came in to pitch were not roster guys. I mean, half the guys that pitched that game didn't even have the name on the back of their jerseys because they just, threw them a bone type thing.
Right.
And the Angels got one hit. So,
Yeah, you need to be able to pick that up. You need to, even spring training, you can't have one hit. You have one
no,
hit in spring training, you're basically showing your cards before the season even starts.
correct,
So,
correct.
um, it's gonna be interesting. This American League is already showing some craziness with the White Sox being in first place in the AL Central. But we all know that'll shake itself out as it always does. I wouldn't be surprised if next week the White Sox were at the bottom of that list, but who knows? It's baseball. Anything could happen. Looking at the National League, Phillies starting off 1-0, Marlins and Mets tying it up in the season. Juan Soto
Yeah.
uh giving it away in game 1 of the
Mm-hmm.
season. Uh doing what Juan Soto does, striking out. I wanted to
Ouch, ouch.
I wanted to reach out to Mets Megan and be like, "What's going on?
Uh,
What's happening?" Um,
uh,
And then you got the Nationals at 0-1 and the Braves at 0-2. Now, Bill, seeing the Braves at the bottom of this list is not something we're familiar with. I don't think we've seen a Braves at the bottom of a standings board in 4 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
do
Small
do
sample size, but yes.
do
Yes.
we need to be concerned with that for the Braves?
Nah. Now, the opening series. So here's the thing: the way that I feel about the opening series. The opening series is always a lot of hype. Now, if the Braves are in 20 games, if the Braves are 10-10, yeah, I'm going to get concerned. But right now, with the Braves 0-2, the Padres, they're in San Diego. Here's the issue the Braves have, though. They've got to win this weekend. They have a 4-game series against the Padres, so they've got to split this 2-2 because they go to LA. Their next series is in LA,
Yeah,
and right now the Dodgers are rolling a little hot. They're coming
yeah.
in hot.
Oh yeah, they are. Moving over to the NL Central, Cardinals right now leading that division, which is a shocker, I think, to everyone in baseball.
Yeah.
Pirates 1-1, Reds and Brewers 0-1, and then the Cubs at a 1-3 record, trailing in that division. Reds had a tough game against the Giants.
Mhm.
Winning that game up until the ninth inning. Will, then you had Patrick Bailey with a slap single, bringing in Jung Hoo Lee, and then Wilmer Flores coming out with a moonshot to the outfield to bring the game up and get them winning. Uh, what was it, 6-4? Um, do the Reds need to be do Reds fans need to worry about this NL Central division with a tough Pirates team and obviously the Brewers doing what Brewers do as the season goes on?
No, in fact, I picked the Reds to win the division. You're right. That game was a tough game, and honestly, the Pirates even should be 2-0. The Pirates bullpen fell apart against Miami on opening day. The Pirates should be 2-0. Uh, Down the stretch, I think you're going to see the Reds and the Pirates duke it out for the top dog. Don't count the Brewers out. Don't count the Cardinals out. Also, don't count the Cubs out. The Cubs are 1-3, but they they got a good enough team where they can bounce back. Justin Steele is a very good pitcher.
Yeah,
He's a very good pitcher, and he's going to figure it out. So yeah,
no question about that. And then moving over into the NL West, Bill's prediction is still currently alive and well. 4-0 Dodgers leading the entire baseball world with 4 wins, no losses. But we're in another tough division right here. You got the Padres 2-0. If you're listening to this on the radio and you can't see Bill's face, Bill's got the biggest grin from ear to ear right now. But you got the Giants 1-0, the Padres 2-0, D-backs 1-1 with a really tough injury that we'll talk about when we get to the injury report.
mhm,
And
mhm.
then the Rockies doing what the Rockies do, starting off the season 0-1.
Yeah,
So obviously the Dodgers, are the team to beat in baseball. Defending champs, always, you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And as of right now, between the Cubs and you guys are facing the Tigers, you said, right? Right
yeah,
now?
yeah. Cubs and
Right now,
Tigers.
they're still showing they are the best. But you got a Padres team that people weren't expecting to do as well as they've been doing even already. And then the Giants coming back in that game
Yeah,
against the Reds, playing with a level of energy that you haven't really seen in a number of years.
yeah,
Um,
100%.
you know, Now obviously I'm not gonna just say like, do the Dodgers need to be worried because the Dodgers are gonna do what the Dodgers do. But the way the Giants came out of spring training and starting off the season, the way the Padres are starting off the season, kind of put a little bit of interest more into this NL West division,
Mhm,
with how tight it's going to be down
mhm.
the stretch.
Could be. Could very well could be. Yeah. The four teams, there's 4 teams in the National League West that are going to compete. Um, and we've talked about this already before. And the Giants and the Diamondbacks, and we'll talk about the Diamondbacks in a second. The Giants and the Diamondbacks are going to compete. I've already said this. I actually think the Giants are going to come ahead of the Padres and come in second place. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a homer here, but don't get me wrong. Unless a lot of things turn south, um, I can easily predict that the Dodgers are going to run away with the West. I'm not saying that to be a homer, but Sam, tell me I'm wrong on that, please.
No, again, we are early in the season,
Yep.
and you know me, I'm a homer through and through.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but being that it is still this early in the season, and the Dodgers have been blessed by the baseball gods with
Hmm.
not being too injury ridden over the last couple of years. Think about it, honestly. Look, minus Shohei Ohtani, who only hit for you last year, and losing Dustin May, and Clayton
And
Kershaw down season.
losing Tony Gonsolin and losing Clayton Kershaw and losing Emmett Sheehan,
Okay,
and losing River Ryan. Yeah, no, we had our injury. Like, here's the thing: the Dodgers last year were good. They were a good team. They won the World Series. They were a good team. This year, they are a much better team from a pitching perspective, which is
yes,
dangerous.
I do agree. But what I will also say is that the majority of your starters have not been like again Goslin, Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw. To me, at this point, is not a regular starter. Just he's been plagued with injuries the last couple of years, taking him out for multiple games. A lot of times it blocks him out for half the season. Comes in at the end of the season, really picks it up, gives them the push that they need. You're going to see that this season. He's starting the season off on the IL with the toe injury. Um, but you have a number of pitchers that haven't been plagued with injury. And what my worry is that if those injuries happen, or you've got certain fielders that haven't been plagued with injuries, have those injuries happen, that is where things could become much more interesting.
100%. And like I said, unless a lot of things go wrong,
Yeah,
a lot of things go wrong, which again, I'm
you
not
know,
a big fan of Shohei pitching a lot this year. I would prefer Shohei to only pitch 100 innings or less. I listen, there's nobody on this planet, including you, Sam, that would not love to have a pitcher go 30-30 and be 5-3 with an ERA under 4.
oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, nobody.
Yeah, I
Right.
I just Mookie faced the illness and in the Tokyo series, but he hasn't been plagued with many major injuries. Freddie Freeman hasn't been plagued with many injuries. Teoscar Hernandez,
Rib
Matt,
injury, rib injury.
yes, but that wasn't like a 4 month stint out on the IL type of situation. Rib injury, you're probably out for, a month, you're back, you're fine. It's a rib. It'll heal itself. So, yeah, but that is where I feel the Dodgers need to maintain their health. They need to maintain their health
100%.
on the offensive side of the ball.
100%.
If those guys, if Freddie, if Mookie, if Muncy, if Teoscar, if they get hurt, now we're going to be
Keep,
having a much different conversation about this current 4-0 Dodgers season.
keep in mind that in the Tokyo series, neither Mookie or Freddie played. And keep in mind that Max Muncy's hitting under 100 and Teoscar's hitting under 200. Right now, the way the Dodgers are built, they're built like you have you get past one or two of these guys and you've got two more guys to deal with. But I agree with you. Injuries are going to plague a lot of teams. And I mean, we're not even in April yet. right?
Yeah, we've already
So,
got a number of guys already out for the season.
yeah, exactly.
So,
Speaking of
uh,
which, we should talk about that.
oh yeah, we definitely will. But you made a point about the Giants fighting for second place this year.
Mhm.
You saw them throughout spring training. They ended spring training with the best spring training record out of all the teams between the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League. They came into game one, won game one, were resilient through that entire game. What is it that you're seeing in this Giants team, being a Dodgers fan, that makes you worried about this organization right now?
Worry is a strong word because I still think the Dodgers are going to run away with this division. But uh, as far as worry for other teams, as long as they can stay healthy, healthy is the key, right? As long as they can stay healthy, they won't have a lot of issues. As long as they stay healthy and they can stay resilient. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a lot of resiliency there.
that
So
is true. All right. Before we gotta get back to thinking, we gotta get to this injury report real quick, and then we're gonna get to our trivia question, get an answer out of Bill, see if he knows the answer. I'm sure he does. Bill's quite an intelligent baseball mind. But we're gonna get back to it. But looking at this injury report, the big injury on this list, Jordan Montgomery out for the season, getting Tommy John surgery. How is this going to impact the D-backs rotation going throughout the season?
you need it puts a lot of pressure on Corbin Burns and it puts a lot of pressure on Brandon Clark. You need you need full swing ahead, right? And you're not going to get it without that.
Yeah.
And that's a shame, right?
Yeah. Um Also going through this list, Drew Thorpe is out for the season with an elbow injury. I'm assuming that one's also a Tommy John situation. Chris Murphy is out for the first half of the season, expected back by June 1st for Boston, as well with an elbow injury. A lot of elbow injuries this week. Um, and then I'm finishing up with Shane Bieber, again with an elbow injury. He's expected to be back by July 1st. Out of those four injuries I just went through, is Jordan Montgomery the most impactful injury on out of those four? Is his injury going to impact their team more than the others?
Sam, that's an amazing question. And my answer is going to be no. And here's why.
Okay.
Here's why. Arizona is battling and again, we're not even in April, guys, so I'm not calling this to be calling this, but we're not even in April yet. And so the Arizona's battling for a wild card spot, conceivably. But Shane Beaver and Cleveland are battling to win the division. And unfortunately for them, I have a sneaky suspicion that it's either win or go home. And so they I think you have more of an impact on that one than you do others, but I could be wrong.
I think that's fair. What about these last three injuries we got on the injury report this week?
So uh, Jeff Criswell out for the season. That just another blow to the Rockies, right?
Yep.
Rosario out. Clayton Kershaw being out is not the end of the world. We're expecting that he'll be back on June 13th, right? But it could be a little sooner, it could be a little later. Frankly, the Dodgers don't need him right now. They
Yeah,
need him to continue to be a bench coach the way that he is becoming a bench coach.
that's fair.
So,
I think
yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. Um, so before we get to our sponsors, I gave Bill a nice little trivia question at the beginning of the episode. What are the only two teams in baseball that don't end with an S? And what are those two teams, Bill?
Okay. So I know one's the Red Sox.
Okay.
Okay. I do not know the other one. I've been racking my brain. Who's the other one?
The White Sox.
Oh, shoot. Never mind. Oh, Sammy, you got me on that one. That's awesome. That is
The only
awesome.
two teams that end their name with an X.
I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, good
And it
call,
was on
dude.
the screen. It was on the screen. They
I
were
was so
throwing
focused
to
on
each
the
other.
other stuff. I was so focused on the other stuff, man. All right, well, you know what? I went to public school. What can I say?
Hey, I did too, but I figured that one out pretty easily. Uh,
Awesome.
Getting back to it, we gotta as well always keep thanking our sponsors. Uh,
Yes.
Ruby's Diner right out there on the PCH with that beautiful view. Make sure, as Bill mentioned, you get that rooftop seating so you can oversee everything. Excuse me. The Inland Empire running on Duncan with like 27 different locations throughout the entire area. I know I'm exaggerating, Bill. How many they got? Like eight,
I think it's 6 or 7.
six or seven.
Yeah.
And then Drunken Gentlemen's Club clothing as well. Got two sponsored events coming up with Top Fan Rivalry in the next couple of months. So make sure you're checking out all of our amazing sponsors. Go and support them like they support us. We can't do what we do without their support. We can't do what we do as well without your support.
Yeah.
So make sure you're supporting the people that support us.
100%.
Bill, you said something at the beginning of the show that you were super excited about. You
Hmm?
were super excited about this. We got leaderboards again.
We got leaderboards.
We got
Leaderboards.
say it again.
I said, we got leaderboards. We got leaderboards.
We got leaderboards. Uh, we're gonna be tracking how things are progressing throughout the season, but this year we got a number to beat. So last two seasons we've been tracking the stolen base count, we've been tracking the pitch count or the home run count. And last year's 2024 number of 3,617 stolen bases superseded 2023. So they are now the number to beat. And currently, we are starting off the season with 41 stolen bases in two games for the majority of for the league and four games for two teams. Um, Bill, is this a were you shocked by how low this was? Because I was kind of shocked by how low the
Stolen
stolen
bases?
base count was in the first two games of the season.
No, actually, I wasn't. In fact, I'm looking at these numbers and I'm thinking to myself, we are definitely, I honestly think that we're definitely going to beat this number. I wasn't shocked at all.
Okay. You expecting it to be right around this? I was actually expecting it to be closer to the 50-55 range.
Yeah, but remember, so it's kind of funky. Like you had said, some teams have played 4 games, some teams have played two, some teams have only played one.
Right.
So, and to get people to run this early, watch in April. You'll see in April where this number will just balloon and go straight up.
Yeah. That's fair. I think that's a good assessment. Right now, you got Jordan Beck, Cabrian Hayes, Trevor Story, John Beretti, Fernando Tatis, and about four others that I wasn't going to put on this list because we only do top five. All with two stolen bases. I think we had a handful of ones, people with one stolen base, and
Mhm.
then I would say about 93% of the league with none.
Yeah,
So I agree with Bill. This number is going to skyrocket. I would not be surprised if by next week Ellie De La Cruz was back on this leaderboard with four stolen bases. Um, because you and I both know you can't keep Superman down. Um, but this is a Cabrian Hayes is going to be a guy you're going to want to watch this year running those
yep,
bases.
absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to want to watch this guy. This guy's pretty good.
This guy is he's between him and Skeens out there in Pittsburgh, those are two of the faces of the franchise at this point for the team, for the organization. And I think it's time for the league to finally take notice of what Brian Hayes can do.
And
I
don't
think
don't call him Brian Hayes. It's Cub Brian Hayes.
I said
Nobody ever called him Brian Hayes.
no,
Don't forget the Cuh beforehand.
I said
No, I know.
Brian.
I just want everybody to make sure that they understand.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I don't see us having another 70 stolen base leader like we did 2 years ago with Ronald Acuna. I see Ellie De La Cruz getting up there in the high 40s, maybe low 50s range.
Mhm.
But when you look at what Brian Hayes specifically in Pittsburgh, that team over the last number of years has just never had, you know, after McCutchen left the first time, never had that guy. And I think now Brian Hayes came in a couple of years ago, started to showcase his talent, but it was overshadowed by just an abysmal Pittsburgh team. And now that you got a guy like Skeens coming in, who's going to be my pick for the NL Cy Young Award winner this year, guy's got like 9 different pitches he could strike a guy out with. Like, guy
Mhm.
is just unbelievable. I think now you're getting your defensive face of the franchise and Cabrian in that offensive face of the franchise positions.
100%.
So
Go
moving on,
KBH.
KBH. Moving on from the stolen base leaders, we're going to get into this home run count. I think this might be where Bill thinks we're a little low on the home run tracker for right now.
Yeah, this one I don't know that we're gonna beat the number though. Look, we went down almost a little over 500 home run or 400 home runs last year. I think we're gonna be right around where we were last year. But yes, this number is a little soft as well. You'll see that start to pick up, especially in the summer months when it gets hot out and the ball flies a little bit more, right? I mean,
Yep.
little humidity, that type of thing. So, but yeah,
But yeah,
this is soft.
yeah, so last year's home run count ended at 5,453. However, the number to beat is the number we tracked from 2023, which is 5,868 home runs.
Okay.
So, will we beat it? Will we won't beat it? Who knows? Give us your guesses. Let us know on Instagram, YouTube. Send Bill or I a DM, slide into him. We'll see. Slide into home plate like that home run. But right now we're sitting at 63 home runs with, again, 2 to 4 games into the season. We got Eugenio Suarez for the D-backs leading baseball with a whopping 3 home runs.
Three
Now,
ding dongs. Yep.
now, if I hadn't done now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that I put 4 players below Gino Suarez from different teams. I could have easily just put 4 Dodgers players underneath because I think there's 4 Dodgers players right now that have 2 home runs, but I wasn't going to give Bill all that glory. I went with Mookie Betts. Um, but Adley Rushman, man, Adley Rushman raked in that first.
Opening day. Yeah.
Like those 2 bombs he hit opening day. Oh my God. If they were in Camden, if they were in Baltimore playing, those things would have been out of the entire park. There's no
Mhm.
question. Like he just rocked it.
100%.
And then you got
100%.
Yeah, and then you got Jonah Heim from Texas and Wilyer Abreu for 2. Wilyer Abreu for Boston for 2. Shohei Ohtani also has 2. I think there were a couple of other Dodger players that had 2. Um, but Aaron Judge is starting off kind of slow this season.
Yeah, he is. He is. But I mean, again, it's a small sample size, right? 2 games.
Yeah. Do you think we'll see another season performance from Aaron Judge that we've seen the last couple of years, or do you see that number starting to not drastically drop, but slowly get to like a reasonable number of home runs that a player would typically hit? That's in his realm of hitting.
The total number of home runs that we have now is how much?
63.
I think Aaron Judge will be darn near close to that. He'll be in the 50s this year.
Okay. Because he was in the 60s last year.
Hmm.
Um, I see him being in the low to mid 50s. I don't see him being in the high 50s. Getting close to
Um, Mid 50s, yeah. So I heard something funny, and I think you'll appreciate this. It was said by a 15-year-old to me this week. They said, "How cool would it be if Shohei hit 74 home runs this season?" And I laughed and I said, "Well, why 74 home runs?" And they said, "Because that would beat Barry Bonds' record, and that would give Shohei an even 300 for his career." I thought, okay, here's to wishful thinking, but funny. Yes.
yes. Bill and I have gone back and forth on this offline regarding Barry Bonds. Maybe we'll just do a segment one day where we speak to him. But Barry Bonds, before all the allegations and everything that came out, was probably one of the greatest contact hitters in baseball. His eye for the ball was unlike anything anyone had ever seen in baseball. It was just like I watched the video of I watched the video of AJ Przinsky
Mhm.
talking about Barry Bonds, and he was like, he hit that home run to tie Willie Mays away when he hit 660, and then looked at AJ Brzezinski and said, I'm not going to hit another home run till I'm back in San Francisco. They had a 5 game series. They had 5 games before they made it back to San Francisco. He went like 16 for like 18 in that entire set. Didn't hit a home run. And then like his second at bat back in San Francisco said, I'm hitting a home run and just cranked it right over the wall, out of the park into McCovey Cove. I think if you
That
take
good?
I think if you take all the allegations away and everything like that, I don't think there is a analyst or a player in history that would argue that Barry Bonds was one of the best hitters in baseball. Bar none.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that point. I mean, when he was with Pittsburgh, he was amazing, right? And to your point, he was amazing. All I'm going to say is, if you're curious about, I mean, steroids does not help you hit a baseball. It does not
Yeah.
help you hit a baseball. Now, does it help you hit it far? Just ask Barry what happened when he broke his bat and still hit a home run in Miami. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I
Right.
agree with you.
So
Yeah,
you have to have good hand-eye coordination.
it gives you more power behind it, but it's all about the approach you take. Like at to your point, taking steroids does not help make you hit a baseball better.
No,
But if your approach to the plate is as aggressive as Barry's was, you're going to hit home runs
100%.
every single time, or you're going to hit that ball every single time because it's not you against the other. It's not you against the 8 or 9 players on the field. It's you against the ball and you against the pitcher. And if you can get to that motif and not worry about anything else that's going on, if you can
Yeah,
focus on that one-to-one battle and not focus on a one-to-many battle, you can win every time. And that's how Barry approached it. And I think what we see with a lot of younger players is they still try to think it's one versus many rather than one versus one.
100%.
So
100%. I agree.
So let's talk about opening day. Let's talk about these opening series. Were there any surprises to you in this opening weekend so far in this opening weekend?
Uh, yes. I was a little surprised that the Angels came out as flat as they did.
Okay.
Chicago beat them 8-1. Yeah, I was a little surprised about that. a couple of pitching performances that and a couple of things like Juan Soto coming up with a chance to tie up the game or take a lead and striking out. A little surprised about some basic things. But Sam, I have a question for you. Well, first, tell me, did you have any surprises of your own on opening day?
Um, I think I'm not surprised that Juan Soto did what Juan Soto did. I'm not. I've
Okay.
said it before, and I'll say it again. And if you're a Mets fan and you want to send me mail, it's gonna get filed. This is my opinion. You don't like it, stick it where the sun don't shine, as far as I'm concerned. But Juan Soto is an average fielder and an above average batter. He is not a superstar fielder. He's not. He's not. He is not this golden goose that you're going to throw in right field and he's going to catch everything that comes his way. He just isn't. Does he have a good arm? Absolutely. Can he make good throws? 100%. Did you pay $700 million for the man because he can hit the ball yards? Yes. That is why the Mets paid him $700 million. That's it. That and he is now the captain and face of that franchise. Like that's what you paid him for.
I
You
disagree.
paid
It's
him to
against the
put butts.
square. The captain and the face of that franchise is Francisco Lindor.
I think it's tied between the two. I think they're co-captains. How about that? I'll give them
Okay.
co-captains. We can't say that he's like Aaron Judge. You're right, and say that he is the captain of the franchise. Aaron Judge is the captain of the Yankees, bar none. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I agree with you. In New York, in City Field, you got Francisco and Juan Soto battling it out for that captain spot. Um, Putting them as co-captains, I think, is fair. Um, but you paid a man $700 million. You come up to the plate, and then you go on a check swing and lose the game. I am sorry. You do not get paid $700 million for your contract value to check swing and lose. You don't. You have to have a better eye on the ball.
I agree.
I think the fact that Astros won that game because of that mistake falls solely on Juan Soto's shoulders. I actually expected them to win that game. I expected them to sweep the Astros in that first series. So the fact that they're 1-1 right now just shows that there's still a little bit more that Juan Soto needs to learn. And he's young. He's like coming out of that baby phase of being a baseball player. He's still in the late 20s.
Yep.
So
True.
he's plenty of time to figure it out. But that was a shock to me. And the other shock to me was the Royals starting 0-1 against Cleveland.
Yeah.
Coming out, I
Divisions.
expected this Royals team to be a lot better. Um, so that I think was a little bit shocking to me. Other than that, not much shocking. Oh, and I mean maybe the Rays being 1-0. Um, Miami being 1-1. That's the kind of shocking, but not crazy. Um, I think, and maybe also the Padres being 2-0 against Atlanta right now. I think that's also a pretty big one. But Atlanta's still missing Ronald. They're still missing a couple of guys, so there's some pieces that are missing. But I think overall, the biggest shockers for me were the Mets tying up that series, being in a tied series right now, and the Royals starting off where they did. I think are two of the bigger shocks to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Royals losing one game isn't a big deal. The Mets are 1-2 against the Astros. Again, the Astros are I don't know what they're going to do this
1-1
season.
against the Astros. 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. But the way the Angels started out scared me a little bit. Um, and so
I can't have faith in the Angels just because that organization has been abysmal for years. Like, I can't. Like,
100%,
yeah. You had
100%.
Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout on your team, and you didn't make the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what? Like, what?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Exactly. So,
Huh? Doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Absolutely
exactly.
doesn't make sense. But you had something you wanted to talk to me. You and I talked before the show, and you wanted to make a big point, and it had to do with the way the league is hyping up opening weekend and how things
Yes.
are being promoted. And the example you gave to me was around a particular person bringing out the World Series trophy for the Dodgers yesterday or 2 days ago at their home opener. So give us a mock Bills corner because we're doing Bills corner next week.
Okay. So here's the thing. I think the NFL and the MLB are trying to focus too much on specific things, specific cities. I don't get me wrong. I love the fact that Ice Cube rode in a hoopty, right? And was blaring music and had the trophy sitting shotgun and everything like that. And the fans went crazy for it. I don't know. Are we going a little too far? I mean, back in the day, the ring ceremony, they handed you your rings, you clapped, everything was good. It wasn't this production where they make, and it was funny too, because if you watch the whole, it's almost a 3-minute video with Ice Cube. He's riding around LA with the trophy. And then he pulls up to Dodger Stadium, Sam, and he pulls up to Dodger Stadium, and it's completely, you could tell that it's completely empty. And I've been there uh, 400 times, so I know exactly where he was at. I know what gate he came in, whatever, right? And then he acts like he's coming back on the field or just driving into the field. I'm like, guys, first of all, he drove in at dusk. Second of all, when you're filming this, it's you can tell it's the morning time, and I'm just like, I don't know. I just give them their rings, let them have a good time. The whole Fat Joe versus Ice Cube thing in the World Series, whatever. What do you think?
Yeah, I think to an extent they do. Um, but again, with when you look at the way sports have gone now, there needs to be they need to bring in an entertainment factor. They do. There's just no way around it.
Okay.
And you know, as I said to you after the Dodgers won the World Series, that they've got their legitimate World Series win, and we can put the 2020 season behind us. So for me, you know, do I think that they're maybe doing too much at certain times? Yes. I think every league, to an extent, maybe except soccer, MLS, does a little too much in the entertainment factor.
Okay.
Um, but you also have to give the fans that entertainment factor because it keeps them engaged. When you bring in those celebrities that are fans of the teams, that are big names like Ice Cube, who has been a Dodgers fan his entire life. I mean, you have to do it. You have to. And I mean, look, the guy grew up in freaking Oakland. You would expect him to be an A's fan. He's a diehard Dodgers fan. Diehard. Like,
As
huge.
should everybody be, Sam. As should
Keep
everybody
that
be.
thought and opinion to yourself, Bill. Keep that thought and opinion to yourself.
Everybody. Mic drop.
Um,
Everybody should be.
in your world, yes. In the real world, no. But yes, do I think sometimes they're doing too much, like having an entire stage brought out onto the field to have guys walk up on the stage, collect their rings, and take them down, just have to rip the stage off the field and spend another 20 minutes just before guys can play? Absolutely. I think that's ludicrous. Bring out a freaking table, throw a skirt on it, put the rings on it, hand their guys the rings, fold up the table, bring it off the field, let these guys start playing. This entire ceremony business should take no more than 15 minutes. It should not be a 45-minute production that you have to hire an entire events crew to set up and build and put together. It's ridiculous. It is. Like, or do what NFL does. Do what the NFL does when it comes to doing a ring ceremony. They literally hold an entire beautiful reception for the Super Bowl winner, and they give all the rings out there. And then
Yep.
what do they do at the first game of their first home opener? They bring the championship out, they showcase it, they cheers it, they drop their banner. Game starts. Like, keep it short and simple. Keep it short and simple.
Mhm.
Fans don't need to sit there for an hour watching you set up a stage, hand out these rings, have a guy drive around with the trophy, then drive him off the field, break down this thing, and then have your guys need to warm up again because it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. You Baseball has tried to consolidate the games to make them faster, and doing stuff like that just makes it so much longer. It's ridiculous.
Yes, I
So,
appreciate that
to an extent, yes, but in some cases, they need to have it.
100%.
Bill, you have a fantastic
Thank you.
podcast for us this week. Give
Oh,
it.
I thought you were going to say I have a fantastic fandom with the Dodgers, but okay, thank you.
I mean,
Yes,
you
the
do,
pod.
but we talk about that on a regular basis. We don't need to talk about when you talk your podcast schedule.
There you go. There you go. American League with Ashley is on Monday. We are now into baseball season. We've got a lot to report on there. Suze is on. Welcome to the clubhouse, Suze, on Tuesday. She's the Yankees fan. Great gal, great interview. Maria, oh, great Dodger fan. So much fun. Welcome to the clubhouse. We have Unraveling the Red Sox. I'm sorry, Unraveling Baseball featuring Mike and Bill. Uh, on Thursday. And then on Friday, it's Two Girls with the Yaps featuring Delaney and Rachel. So, yeah, we got a lot going on with this podcast schedule. And of course, obviously, if you're listening to this either on Bleacher Brothers Radio or if you're listening to this on YouTube, you already know that we do this every Saturday.
Yeah, and Bill, I'm going to challenge you this year. I'm going to
Yep.
challenge you in this baseball season.
Good.
All 30 teams in baseball need to have one individual podcast. All 30 teams during the baseball season. My challenge to you is that you have to get all 30 teams at least one podcast throughout the season. And I
Challenge
challenge you
accepted.
by saying I don't want to see weeks where there's like 3 Dodger podcasts going on, and then all of a sudden it's like every other team gets thrown to the wayside.
Challenge accepted.
Boom. We will figure out a winner and loser and what they have to do after the show, and we will let everyone know what that torture is after. But as well, looking at what we got on X and Instagram, we're moving It's Sports Talk, It's Fan Involved to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time this week. It's not going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so keep that in your mind as you're planning on jumping
Just
on
this
this
week, yeah.
Thursday. As well, every Tuesday and Thursday, Baseball Bill does In the Leagues, talking about what's happening in the recent games and what to keep an eye out for, talking pitching matchups, best series to watch, things like that. And then Baseball Bill and Mikey Bleeds Blue will be doing series recaps on the Top Fan Rivalry page after every single Dodgers series this season. So this first one is going to happen tomorrow. It's going to be Ashley and Julie, Sunday at 5 p.m. And then on Thursday, you got Delaney and Rachel coming on to talk about that series. So make sure you're checking out for it. Um, Bill, you started a new club.
We did.
You had a t-shirt club. You said that was doing well, but we're getting into the sports cards world now. We're
Mhm.
we're growing. We're bringing in more. We're trying to expand our fan base to not just be sports podcast people and not people that want really cool T-shirts. If you really want them, join the T-shirt club. Strongly encourage it. But now we're breaking into the baseball card world. So tell me about this club you created.
So this club that we created is called 27 Ounce Club. What you do is it's a $27 a month club. So it's 27 bucks a month. And with that, you get your team guaranteed and 2 club breaks that month. Now we're doing club breaks or we're doing breaks every Monday. As of right now, we might be kicking that up a little bit more and doing some more breaks as these things fill up. But every other week we'll have a club break, and you'll get your team in 2 of the club breaks. Then, in addition to that, You also get a $5 off coupon. So if you want to get into any of the other breaks, you want to get into any of the other things, you get that. Plus, not only that, you get 24-hour early access than anybody else to the box breaks. So if you are, for example, Sam, you have the Giants in the 27-ounce club. If, for example, you wanted the Phillies or the Cardinals or the Braves or somebody that wasn't already taken in the 27-ounce club, you could get that 24 hours before anybody else could. So that becomes huge, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that becomes huge. Not
Oh,
only that, but you get 24-hour early access as a club member to any of the box breaks. So,
oh, so not
so
just the
it,
ones you're doing in the 27 ounce club, you're also talking about the ones that you partner with Heads Up Sports Cards on.
Heads up sports cards, exactly. And Sam, we've already got 11 of these things sold. I think by the end of the month, by the end of next month, we'll have all of them sold out. We already have three people that have asked us for three different teams that are already taken. So in April, we might actually be starting a second club because more people want more access to it. So
Maybe
yeah,
not a set club, but maybe just doing more breaks and giving the people that don't have the opportunity to guarantee their teams in two of them the opportunity to get those teams in the other two. We can
and we
talk
might
about
do
it
that.
off. We can talk about it offline. I got some ideas for you with that one because I can see this being one that fills up pretty quickly. But this week, breaking on Monday, we got the 2024 Topps Heritage High Number baseball card break. This is an awesome, awesome product. A lot. The cards are beautiful. Strongly encourage you if this is your first box break to get in ever. This is a great product to get in with. There's an autograph or a relic in every single one of these boxes, so there's gonna be a highlight card that you're gonna want to catch. Definitely make sure you're checking it out. And if you haven't signed up, sign up for the 27 Outs Club. Um, Once again, we want to thank our sponsors real quick: Drunken Gentlemen's Club, Ruby's Diner on the PCH, and the Inland Empire running on Dunkin' Donuts with their 6 and 7 locations throughout Southern California. We thank you for supporting us so we can do what we love to do. And as I keep saying, fans, please go support our sponsors so they keep supporting us and keep giving us money.
There
Because
we
if they
go.
don't get money, we can't do this.
There we go.
That's what we
There we
do,
go.
but we can't do it for free. So please support them. Please. I'm begging you.
Yeah.
I'm begging
Support them. Support them. All right.
you. As always, make sure you're checking out topfanrivalry.com for new articles, podcast merch, the t-shirt, and 27 Outs Club, the exclusive member events, and every January, the Top Fan Rivalry Fan Fest. It's an awesome opportunity. Plus the virtual Fan Fest that Bill is going to be running once to maybe twice a year. We'll see how it plays out. Bill, any final comments and thoughts for the fans out there, or wrap this up as you always do?
Go fight, win.
Go fight, win. I